Da, 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 ba, da, 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 ba, da, da, da. Yeah. Stevie Coyle here. Mighty Fine Guitars. Friday noontime webcast for Friday, oddly enough, February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day. And such. Two guitars to show you today. One and a half guitars. A new one, which is to say one you haven't seen before, that just came in last night. A 1950 Martin 0017 Cool, and a guitar you have seen from a couple of weeks ago, but it wasn't kind of complete at the time, and now the neck, which needed refinishing, has been beautifully refinished. This guitar is in top shape, and it's by my favorite builder, probably in the world, Alan Perlman. It plays more than just an A minor chord, but I think I would be happy with just an A minor chord. Damn, Sam. From 2005, perhaps you recall. Oh, wait a minute, I should make sure that things are happening here. Hang on a sec, folks. It's the usual check and see. Yeah, here we go. Looks like things are doing their thing. Make sure the volume is down, which is the way we like it. There we go. Right. Top of my head is cut off. Big deal. It's like that in real life too. A 2005 Alan Perlman OM size guitar, same size as a triple O guitar, and not everybody, lots of people, lots of builders use the Martin designations. This is an OM, which is to say it's got a long scale, the scale length being the distance from the nut to the saddle on the low string, on the low E string. In this case, we've got long scale and a wide fingerboard. A triple O would have been short scale and a narrower fingerboard in classic Martin terms, although there's lots of crossover nowadays, which I hate. I hate change. No, hands are cold. Thank you for tuning in. This is the Friday Noontime Webcast. This guitar in particular is a follow-on to a recording I made a couple of weeks ago about this same guitar, but before it had this beautiful neck refinish done. Had some little gouges on the back from a piece of thumb jewelry. That's rattling my gizzards, or my whatevers are in there. Very visceral hit. My pal Eric Schoenberg says, and I believe him, and I subscribe to this theory, that the triple O OM in particular, the triple O/OM size, but the OM size in particular, is the do-it-all great guitar, and I agree completely. Has plenty of volume, has tons of bass. If you're looking for that visceral hit, to hit your viscera with a lot of bass, this is the size guitar you want. And this guitar is surprising in a sense. It's because the surprising bit is that it's mahogany back and sides and not rosewood. It's got a lot of rosewoody feel to it, but it still has that precision and punch from a mahogany guitar, which it is, of course. It's a mahogany guitar. I think in the previous video, in fact, I'm sure because I checked, I said that the top was Sitka. It is not. It is Adirondack with some silking, some medullary rays that I mistook for in this cave. I mistook for Sitka. It's not. It's an Adirondack top, which also accounts for the volume and articulation and brightness. How's this one go? Little tune by Marcel Dadi, if I remember correctly, and I'm sure I remember correctly, that this was the theme song for Vigoro Lawn Food way back then. And the usual challenge in a little shop like this from the past couple of days have been raining like hell. It has been torrential. And now it's dry as a bone. So the guitars are all kind of responding strangely. Anyway, I just wanted to give you a quick hit on the Perlman OM mahogany Adirondack from 2005 at $7,300. I'll play this again for you later. But the guitar I wanted to feature for you as well is this here. Lovely little beast. Whoosh, sprayed with anti-grav, I swear. Larry, Laura, Stephen, are you hearing everything okay? I always like to check in with folks and make sure that you're getting good volumes on the Sonics. This is a 1950, and as far as we can tell, it has not been refinished. This is the original finish. It's in great shape, if that matters to you. I don't mind a guitar that's beat up. I'll beat to hell too, but this one happens to be in really good shape. And very double OE in sound. Now this is a 17, which means that it's mahogany topped, as well as mahogany back and sides, and mahogany neck. Whole lot of mahogany going on. The fingerboard on this one too, because it's a double O, sometimes there were 1 3/4. This one is narrow fingerboard, 1 11/16. You wouldn't think that the difference between 1 11/16 and 1 12/16 would be that great a difference, but it is. Your hand can really feel it. And this doesn't have a really pronounced V profile in the back. It's a very soft sort of V. And next, on Martin guitars, certainly lots of guitars at the time, but certainly Martin guitars, these weren't made by CNC machines. These were made by guys with draw knives and sandpaper. So they all feel a little different. This one has recently been resuscitated by my guy up in Santa Rosa, California, called Matt Kerslake, Kerslake, capital K, small e, small r, small s, etc. Kerslake. Keep an eye on this guy. He's a terrific repair guy. And I have the good fortune of seeing him every Thursday night for this thing that we're both involved in. And he says, hey, I've got this ready. You think you want it for the shop? Let me think. Hell yes. So this one came in last night. Didn't need a neck reset. There's plenty of room left on the saddle down here. It plays great. What has he done to it? The bridge was re-glued, new saddle. There were some old crack repairs that were rather inelegantly done, but they're solid. Everything's been cleated that needs to be cleated. This guitar has got a new lease on life from 1950. If it's a birth year guitar, well, that's a bonus, isn't it? You old guys. 24 7/8 inch scale on this one. This one kind of splits the difference a little bit from short scale. No, actually, wait a minute. No, arithmetic is not my... I was going to say math is not my long suit. This is not even math. This is arithmetic. This is 24 7/8. So it's 24.9, essentially. Standard Martin short scale. Sorry, Sister Godzilla Marie. My brain didn't work in grade school mode at that point. She's always sitting right here. Any of you that were raised Catholic? Any recovering Catholics out there? Sister Godzilla Marie is always sitting right there. Did that wrong. That wasn't right. Try it again. Now, people, as we often talk, the royal we, talk about on this here channel, as people get older, they tend to get wider, and they don't wrap around their dreadnoughts the way they used to. Remember those dreadnoughts we all had to have because Crosby, Stills, Nash had them, and James Taylor had them, and well, then he moved off to SJ's. Not going to get into the weeds. We all used to have the dreadnoughts because that was a guitar. Anything else was not quite a guitar, and certainly not that guitar that Joan Baez played. That was a girl guitar. And what the hell was that thing that Dylan was playing anyway? Still haven't seen that movie. I'm told it's really good. I'm told it's really good, even by people that went determined not to like it. They liked it. It's not the truth. It's, as my pal John says, truthy. It kind of sneaks up on the truth in some places. But back to my point, and I do have one. My point, and I do have one, is that as we get older, we get wider, and we don't wrap around our dreadnoughts the way we used to. So, having a smaller guitar to sit on the couch with, where, let's face it, lots of music gets played these days, is pretty important. Hi, Joey. Cool. Joey, you're busking, man. Me too. I'm going to get out there busking pretty soon, too. John Reynolds. Nice to see you, John. A shop regular. There's Laura McQueen. Stephen Winton Henry. You're the first hyphenated person on this particular thread. Welcome. Yeah. For if you're not a big person, if you don't have big long arms, short scale will probably serve you. That's the other thing. A narrow fingerboard and a wide fingerboard, your hand over 1/16 of an inch at the nut, you don't think you would really detect that. You do. And you certainly do detect the half-inch difference between 24.9-inch scale and 25.4-inch scale, short and long scale. Having things in close makes a difference. If the guitar is not comfortable for you, you don't play it as often as you would. You might go to the effort of digging it out of the case, out of the closet, then out of the case, and then whatever else has to happen to it. I always say, people think, oh, of course I always keep my guitar in my case. Really? Now, if you don't have small children or big dogs, please seriously consider getting a stand for your guitars or one of them wall hanger things like I got on the wall behind me here. That way the guitar is accessible and you will play it more often and you will have more fun and you will get better. This is a classic, totally classic, 00 size guitar, mahogany top from 1950. Lots of fundamental in the tone here, lots of that original frequency. Not so rich on the overtones, but very punchy and really loud. This little devil is screaming loud for its size. It's also really light, probably 3.5 pounds, not even 4 pounds. Probably not even 3.5 pounds. I should do that carnival thing. Guess your weight. And no, I'm not talking about that joke. Very punchy. Real needly kind of articulation. Say, I remember my mom used to say, look up and smile while you're playing. Did you find what I just did chilling? I did from even this side of my face. Nah, not gonna happen. I'll just stick with my Mr. Showbiz pose. Takes just a second for your old pal Stevie here to adjust from 1 3/4 to 1 11/16. It happens, but it does take a little adjustment. Boy, that's fun to play. It's fun to play because it's really surprising how much sound comes out of it for how little effort you need to put into it. cool guitar. Well, let me see who's here. My gosh, how rude I am. Nancy Paul is here. Nice to see you. Alex Berry, hello and welcome. Bruce Potter, nice playing. Sounds like it would have cut through the mix well. Exactly. And Bruce, this guitar probably records really well as well. Folks, if you're not hip to Bruce Potter, check him out online. Check him out on the Mighty Fine Guitars website. Got a couple of guitars of his in here that he built his own bad self, and they are moderately fabulous. And there are recordings of each of them, so hit the website. That'll take you to the video links. Speaking of video links, and you can find all of these Friday Noontime webcasts, trademark, on YouTube at Stevie Coyle Music, all mashed together, all them words mashed together. Stevie Coyle Music is the name of the channel over there. And all of these Friday Noontime webcasts for the past X are up there. Another spin, real quick, of the mighty Perlman. A little bit bigger, not as big as a Dreadnought, and easier to play than a Dreadnought because the waist is so much narrower. There's the lower bout of the Dreadnought, which is 15 inches as I recall. No, even wider, 15 3/4. It's really wide. This is 15 inches. The 00 is 14 1/4, if memory serves. And an O, which would be the size below our little Martin here, would be 13 inches. So when these guitars were advertised, those guitars were advertised, the 00s, they were advertised as bigger sound than a concert guitar. Yeah, still not huge. Things are getting pretty huge when you get to the 00 size here. And like I said, I absolutely agree with Eric Schoenberg when he says, excuse me, that the 00 OM is the do-it-all great size. Yeah, it's the wood. This is great wood. Beautiful Adirondack spruce on the top. Lovely kind of half-figured mahogany on the back. Oh, lovely. Maple trim. The bindings are maple. The neck is mahogany as well. Pretty fantastic pieces. But there's something in the mojo of the way the guitar gets put together that I don't understand, and I'd love to. No, I wouldn't love to. I say that I would. Nah. I want that mystery to be there. I want that part of the guitar, of a given guitar that I love, that I can't even articulate. And folks, not to get snooty or anything, in a shop like this, that's what you're looking for, is a guitar that lights you up for reasons you can't even articulate. My opinion, I think that's the sale I like to see the best, is when the guitar, the meeting of man and human, of man and machine, human and machine, is a great match. And it's clear beyond what the guitar is made of, who made it, any of that stuff, that the matchup is great. The person playing it. Had a couple of those recently. A gal and a guy. Had several of them recently. It's been a good run of that. It's always great to find a good match between a guitar. That sounds really good. I've got to have this guitar. But when it's just, when you make that face that I just made, when they make that face, that's the best. And sometimes from across the room where I sit at my desk, answering the mountain of email that is my life, I'll listen and I'll think, oh boy, I hope that's the one. I hope that's the winner for you, because that's the one that sounds great over here. And almost invariably it is. I'm so smart. Get on the bus that takes me to you. Too much, the magic bus. I'm so nervous, I just sit and smile. Your house is only another mile. Too much, the magic bus. picture here. Hang on a sec, kids. Let me get right back to you. Thank you for tuning in, by the way, everybody. Stevie Coyle here, in case you're just now tuning in. Stevie Coyle here at Mighty Fine Guitars in Lafayette, California. Heart of the Tri-Cities area of Orinda, Lafayette, and Moraga, La Morinda. Get it? And folks, do feel free to pass this along. Do feel free to share this video, either now or later on your own timeline, or to send it off to like-minded folks you think might be interested in any of the wonderful guitars I have in the shop here. Today's feature is this Alan Perlman OM in mahogany and Adirondack, and this here little old Martin from 1950 that's just been refurbed beautifully by the master refurb guy up there in Santa Rosa, California, Matt Kersley. Does great refurbs. This guitar has had everything done to it that it needs for the next 30, 40 years of hard play. And when I pick up this guitar, I just picture myself sitting in front of the TV, watching some Netflix, or if I was a different guy, watching some sports. But it's probably going to be Netflix. Great couch guitar. We call them couch cuddlers. We call them sofa sweethearts. Guitars that will actually get played where you would play guitar if you had a guitar that fit you properly. Boy, was that a Fibber McGee poodle or what? Very good, folks. There it is. I've got some folks coming in to check out some guitars. I'm going to open up the shop. Thanks for tuning in. Stevie Coyle here, Mighty Fine Guitars. Oh, I forgot to mention, if you do have comments or questions, stack them up down below. I always follow this thread for a few days. And do look for this. If it's easier to get to these videos over on YouTube, by all means, check out the Stevie Coyle Music, all one term, channel over on YouTube. And I'm up on Instagram as well, you know, for the kids. Both of them that tune into my channel. So I'll look forward to seeing you next week with God knows what is going to walk in the door. But it's always a pleasure to speak with you and answer your questions, gab about guitars, nerd out. Nerd. How do I do it? And I hope to see you next week on the Friday noontime webcast. Stevie Coyle here at Mighty Fine Guitars, signing off. Ta-ta, everybody.